Alrighty gamers, good early evening to each and every one of you. Hope everybody enjoyed CEO last night. It was quite the hustle, but now things are about to get spicy on this present timeline that we live in, let's put it like that. So you are now watching Bounty Hunters FT7. We are a weekly show match event open to basically everyone, no matter what skill level you are. And the name of the game tonight is, once again, Guilty Gear Strive, first to 7 wins. I'm your usual host QK, and I guess without further pleasantries, let's move on to checking out what's in store for tonight. So, one of our high-end matchups unfortunately didn't come to pass tonight, so Strelitzia versus Knuckleton is to be viewed on a different occasion, unfortunately. But we will proceed with the rest of the 6 of the matchups per schedule, as far as I know. We even got Knee versus Thunder Kitty salvaged, which was supposed to not go down initially. Let's go in a reverse order from last to first, shall we? So starting from the bottom, at the end of the evening looms a rematch from 2 events ago. This is of course Bliskke and Decoy, who delivered an absolute banger of a match that went down to basically the last round previously. But there were some regrets back and forth, since Bliskke has been sort of plagued by faulty peripherals for a while, in the form of his controller disconnecting here and there. So it's only natural that both of these players wanted a more satisfying, or wanted a little bit more closure to their scuffle here tonight. On the second last slot, it's Spades Jungie, returning second week in a row. Had a very rough matchup last week and gonna be testing his mettle now versus Jungie Kai. Jungie's had a pretty clean run overall on Bounty Hunters so far. Their only loss so far has been a 6-7 match nail-biter, which could have honestly gone either way. On the 4th slot, the Prince of Brutal RPS and the Bringer of Unga, Radune Leo from Sweden, is to greet yet another newcomer to Bounty Hunters. The Vibe Check Bouncer himself is gonna test zawild Kai, another Russian Kai player. Oh, I just realized another Russian Kai player indeed, in addition to Jungie, actually. I didn't even think about that before. And I'd say Russia has always had a sort of long line of traditionally strong Kai players, starting from the XX era. And tonight, yeah, we're gonna watch 2 modern day Kais in a row from the very same region. Heading into the 3rd slot matchup, Knee versus Thunder Kitty was initially looking like the match was gonna fall through, but a last-minute change in plans allowed Thunder Kitty to make an entrance after all. And now both these warriors are on their 3rd Bounty Hunters game and looking to leave their marks on the history of the show. Let's put it like that. Nearing the start of the show, we've got a double finish showing on the 1st and the 2nd slots. So KS Goat Lewis is gonna clash against Ehmu from Slovakia on the 2nd one. But before that, we've got Hoplan coming back for more on that Slayer. I suppose that, yeah, think now that I think about it, that should officially put Hoplan as the player who's represented Slayer the most, because this is his 4th time on Slayer, which is kind of kind of interesting considering that Slayer has been out, what, 5 weeks so far? So very, very active representation. Yeah, where were we? In that vein, this will also be our first Slayer versus Nago matchup. A true clash of vampires. The character matchup has actually been a little bit of a long time in the making, but for one reason or another, we just haven't been able to set it up yet. And I'm sure it's plaguing many of y'all as well as myself to think about which Knightless is the stronger one in this matchup. These are two characters capable of basically explosively neutral skipping if left unchecked, and both of them are pretty much the epitome of damage when you think about it. As long as blood is available for Nagoriyuki, every combo converts into massive numbers. And with Slayer, yeah, outside of like jab starters, Slayer really doesn't know the meaning of low damage at all, does he? Most of his hits convert into Bilepunker loops, and if you have the technical prowess to make it happen, yeah, you got pretty much damage coming in from left and right. Oh, I should of course put up the cards. Which lot did I have these? This one. All right. Let's not forget about the cards. I think as far as the cards go, we unfortunately couldn't have a card for Knee and Thunder Kitty, as that matchup was initially looking like we were not gonna play it. But the rest should be carded as per usual. So funny thing is, Hoplan, even though Hoplan represents Slayer tonight, has been pretty much a Nago player himself for the longest time as well. So should be facing a character that can't really bring anything super, surprising onto the table. Of course, Bling versus Nagoriyuki is always a little bit of a surprise and a jump scare. Being able to, hop from one point of the screen to another with the use of either Clone Hukyo or that dreaded Beyblade. But of course, Slayer kind of has the same functionality in K-Mappa, especially if you perform it with a step cancel. Yeah, it has a massive range, and on block, it's gonna score you a couple of plus frames as well. So you can, if the opponent respects too much, you can just skip onto their guard and go from there. Although I do wonder how much this character Nagoriyuki wants to be respecting. This is very hard to wrap my head around, because these are two characters that don't really wait much for your opponent to act, because they have the capability to act first, and they can force the opponent to take a very defensive posture in, having to respond to their neutral skips actively. Alright, let's see. Starting with the back Hukyo baiting the 5k from Hoplan. And now here we go. Left right mix up 6-6 close slash. You already know the vibes from the old games. Throw into the corner. CSOTG, and now the risk is being cranked up a lot. That was 2 hits into a super. That doesn't kill, right? It was really close to killing, wasn't it? A little bit of risk there just allowed 2 hits into a super, almost completely demolished Nago. Oh, we're getting a fully charged 5D. A little bit of a reaction check. It's gonna get decent damage, but misses the Ender. The Ender is the most important hit there. That's the hit that's gonna give you your basically your frame advantage and your positive bonus by finishing the loop. 6B calls out 5k once again. Hoplan starting up the second round with 5k as well. Bar slash from Nagoriyuki reaches very far. Trying to go for a 6B, I think, looked like, but Beyblade having a hitbox on the ground. Now what you gonna do? Very close to pop in, but I think Hoplan pressed something and extended himself into the Blood Rage pop. The player is very dangerously low on life. That Beyblade just doesn't quite reach. Waiting for perhaps Slayer to make a move here. And the frame trap is Bilepunker. Very hard to challenge there unless you would go for your reversal super from Dragon. Naga not one of those characters who sport any sort of like super fast buttons. Naga usually known as like, ooh, hold that thought. Tried to round start with a 2S this time, but Hoplan was moving to the next layer with 2 heavy. A move that is the premium low crusher, completely low invulnerable move, and goes into a massive counter hit combo as well. Slayer really is that character who has, I think, the most explosive round starts in this game. Because, you know, everything counter hits, and every counter hit just goes into a pile bunker loop. Compare him to characters like Soul Bad Guy, for example, who do massive damage on counter hits as well. But Soul really doesn't have kind of like the capability of counter hitting and doing all sorts of, oh, but the counter hit here, Master's Hammer into just a basic combo, drains half of Dragon's Life, back throw into, baits the throw, and the coming down with, what is that button, jump heavy? Preventing Hoplan from getting any sort of anti-air out. I think Hoplan hit a button here, so it's gonna go into the sequence from Dragon, lots of blood coming back, and Hoplan, without basically any tension to spend, will kind of have to hold this upcoming pressure. Draining some blood back with the far range 5 heavies as well. And here we go, one more. The premium one more of this game. Block anything, and there's always a possibility that Beyblade might be coming out. If you have the 0.6 blood available, it's often enough reasonable, you know, play to respect that potential frame trap. Ooh, 6P. Misses the combo, and Hoplan turns out the super, and now an opportunity to potentially end the round right here. And the game as well, nice backdash into a 2 heavy. Dragon was not able to get any sort of button out there in time. Now the downside of the 2 heavy from Slayer is that it is a little bit on the slower side, so any sort of high profile poke, normal poke, like far slashes will generally be able to beat it in terms of startup. That situation right there was a little hazy there with all the RCs and what have you. Got hit from the 2S, immediate burst from Dragon. Nagoriki is, after all, one of those characters who actually have to fear Slayer damage. A brave check there on 2B as Hoplan was coming in from the Dandy Step follow-ups. Some knockdown, drifting forward, and he's able to see the Dandy Step going in. And unless you go into a pile bunker, the Dandy Step follow-ups really don't have a hitbox, any sort of hitboxes to write home about. Of course, pile bunker does have a little bit of disjoint, and I guess it's relevant to also mention that Master's Hammer tends to have a very elusive hitbox. So while you can't challenge a lot of stuff from your dandy follow-ups, you can hop over a lot of stuff. A soft knockdown here once again. That 5 heavy reaches too far. No Dandy Step follow-ups available for you. Specifically from the K-Dandy. 2 heavy hits, counter hit. Switch side. And getting a wall stick a little too soon there, perhaps. Super would have killed. No, the classic missing a K-Mappa right in front of Dragon's face. Dragon was not ready to react, and as a result, Hoplan gets to press more buttons. I mean, it's a very logical assumption that, when the K-Mappa is coming for you and you're not ready to press a button, it's probably gonna land on hit as a block, and then you're minus. So you're kind of expecting Slayer to press their advantage. Such a tragedy when it ends up missing. Speaking of tragedies here, let's see if Hoplan is gonna write another one for Dragon. Half of the life gone, and now what's the mix-up into Master's Hammer's plus 26 or something absurd like that will basically give you the mix-up opportunity of your life. Not only the plus frames, but also the massive amount of the plus frame, the risk that you're gonna be building out of that. Alright, Beyblade, a little faster than whatever Hoplan was trying to bring to the table. Not close to the 50, or rather close to the 50% tension. But Hoplan has 100 available, immediate burst, immediate super as well. Did Dragon hit a button? No, sir! But the 100 will allow Hoplan to skip to the other side and keep up the pressure. Yeah, I was aware that Dragon might burn the meter immediately. And now the question, did he hit the button? No, but drifting forward, Dragon did the same! But Hoplan was on top of that RPS, taking the throw, and then swiftly pressing a button. Well, if there was one thing that I sort of expected from this matchup is that it's been very fast-paced. And anybody basically getting a hit in is gonna score massive amount of damage and massive amount of what do they call it? Momentum as well. Basic sequence here. Wall stick, super, blood comes back, you know the deal, and then guess for your life kind of a beat. Hoplan does have all the options open. Super, burst options, pile bunker, into cross up. What is Dragon's option here? Has to spend the burst here. Yeah, technically that counter hit close slash, if Hoplan doesn't drop the combo, would have probably ending up killing. So you kind of have to respect the nightless damage here and just, you know, give away the burst, move on to the next round. It's worth it. You're sitting on a life lead, or not a life lead, but a round lead rather on Dragon's side. So even if this round ends up not going in Dragon's favor, we'll be able to build towards that 100 burst. And that's sort of what ends up happening here. Going into the last round, even Stevens, but Hoplan has all of their bursts ready to go. Nice, the backdash, rather the back hookyo into a bar slash works out once again. It's very difficult to get outside of sort of Slayer's field of influence on the round start, because too heavy just hits so far, and you can't backwalk against it. Here comes Dragon, big counter hit, and OTG delivers sufficient amount of damage, putting Dragon on the board as well. Now it's gonna be a tough run back, but this is definitely the one point where you can still make it happen. The K-Mappa with punishes a 2S from Nagoriyuki. Mappa counter hit conversion. K-Mappa is very nice button as well. If it counter hits, you get, you know, simple 5k into another Mappa, which will corner carry a lot and deal surprisingly good amount of damage as well. 5B anti-air, very good presence of mind from Hoplan, ready to react. Skips over to the other side with Master's Hammer, baiting the throw. Especially when you do dandy steps from heavier buttons or higher attack level buttons, it's very hard for your opponent to prevent you from going into Master's Hammer uncontested. Such as is the case here. Let's see. We got all that juice. We're going to the left wall. Not quite getting the wall stick, but I bet Hoplan doesn't mind that much. Try to 5B there, but again, Master's Hammer being so elusive, and the pile bunker. Not necessarily the forward-moving DP that it perhaps was in previous games. I mean, it is still, pile bunker is still pile bunker. It approaches fast, produces a very good hitbox, but the hitbox isn't like, it's not full screen revs as it was in the past, so it is technically possible for certain disjoints to contest it. As well as, you know, due to how dandy step itself works, having no, oh, but hold that thought, we got a quick wall stick here into a super. That's gonna be decent amount of damage. And now guessing for your life, P Dandy into close range. Dragon missing the throw here. This is bad. Pile bunker would certainly be RC'd, and potentially going into another pile bunker and another RC after that. It is a guard crush after all, so technically in chip damage situations, pile bunker when combined with meter can provide really nasty kind of checkmates. But the anti-air is on point for Dragon, getting the wall stick a little too early on the second hit of the bar slash sequence. Right, Wild Assault converting into bite. These characters enjoy the added benefits of the command grab stick. Again, baiting it. However, Dragon had the 100 meter once again. baiting back and forth. I think Dragon didn't hit the button either. And now the close slash punish towards the corner will be the end of Hoplan's folly here. 6P, yeah, the universal way of countering incoming K-Mappas. If your character doesn't have some sort of a really nasty amount of disjoints, 6P is gonna be your universal call-out button for, going under K-Mappa. But it's coming for you. Big counter hit and the wall stick. Yes, indeed. 2 points for Dragon. Slowly the further into the set we are traveling, or we are proceeding, Dragon has been able to get more and more success. It was a true punish there. Didn't follow up the 2P with anything. This is 6P once again. That Master's Hammer being extremely hard to hit. They say that you should perhaps deal with Master's Hammer on reaction and throw it on the landing frames. Baited super once again. It's kind of unfortunate for Nagoriyuki because he doesn't have a standard dash. From certain spacings that Super Mappa actually skips to the other side and puts you in an awkward spacing where close slash just can't activate. So a lot of the times I've seen Nagoriyuki players having to take the punish with a far slash instead. And this time tries to chase the back hook go with the 2D. Another button that on counter hit could just absolutely murder the opponent. Speaking of murdering the opponent, from a close slash 1, 2, 3 into a super. And now you'll be guessing, skipping into the throw range. Any hit is gonna do it. FD is applied on the pile bunker, and there we go! He holds it! We were talking about the chip potential of that pile bunker, but of course, when you are holding onto FD, it will completely negate the incoming chip damage, which is probably what you should have done in that situation as well, as Dragon did. Right, P-Mappa tries to gauge a reaction by going into the Dandy follow, sorry, not P-Mappa, the Dandy, of course. Anyway, through the wall we go. Dragon, very close to 50 meter. Tries to interrupt again with the super, but there is nothing to interrupt here. Going into a big combo. Dropping early to the mid-scream, it's fine, we still have a lot to work with. Master's Hammer producing massive plus frames, and Cranking Risk has to burst here. That was the last possible moment, but then the slow 5 heavy won't be able to tag Hoplan in time. That's exactly what we were sort of talking about in the intro section to the match, where K-Mappa is just so fast and offers Slayer the same capability as Nagoriyuki for, skipping from one side of the screen to another one. And very few buttons will be able to hit it fast enough, unless you're going just completely preemptive. Alright, wall stick won't be, trying to go with the 6 heavy, which is a very slow startup button. So Dragon will be able to check out of the wall. However, 1, 2 heavy into a good hit confirm from Hoplan. And now Hoplan basically on a set point. Ooh, trying to challenge there. Dragon coming out of that exchange victorious, and now the blood situation will be fixed as well. This is technically guess for your life kind of situation. It's really close though, because Slayer is a very tough. Oh, wait! They just went the reversal being Dandy into a cross-up? Because I think Hoplan was rocking the 50 meter as well, putting a little bit of fear there on Dragon's side. Once again, K-Mappa as a frame kill, skip into the opponent's guard. RC very late, but the pressure, the party still continues. Walking forward 5 heavy, no reaction from Dragon, but eventually you will have to do something. The life is running out, but the jump, the defense was so great. Gets his burst out just in time. Map, or I think that was a P map at this time, not a K1. So who knows if that was plus or not. But the fact of the matter is Hoplan was enthusiastically pressing a button afterwards, and Dragon was not able to reach for fast buttons of their own. I think P Mappa is actually a little harder to make plus, but it is certainly possible. The range is very limited, so you have to stand on like a very specific kind of spacing. Speaking of that, I don't even exactly know what kind of spacing you should be looking for if you're trying to determine if the mappa is plus or not on the P version. Either way, that was a fast and explosive first match. In comes our second Finnish player in the form of KS Goat Lewis. We'll go versus one of our longtime regular players, Ehmu Chip. Now, I wonder though, KS is a very interesting case. I think KS often enough has... I would say KS is already on the advanced bracket, but I think he kind of has some blind spots here and there, which sometimes prevent him from, you know, having the consistency of some of the other hard-hitting players of the community. But he definitely has the potential. If KS is, you know, feeling comfortable in this matchup, then I would say Ehmu will probably have their work cut out for them here. Of course, this matchup, if Chip can sort of do what Chip does, it can be hard for Goat Lewis to basically hit any kind of buttons during the matchup. You probably wanna try to get a you know, some sort of a neutral skip, such as like get your drone out, or be able to tag them with White Wild Assault to be able to get some sort of plus frame advantage, and then spend more meter in, you know, checkmating them from the behemoth pressure. But unless you land one of those Hail Marys, it can be very hard for you to catch Chip if you are actively trying to chase him. And one factor, of course, is even if you do get that drone out, this is a character who has a triple jump. So good luck trying to match, you know, Chip's jump height as a Goat Lewis.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society. So instead of reflecting on
But undeniably, if KS manages to get into Ehmu's guard even once with 50 meter, I would probably never bet any money on a Chip player after that. Question is how to get there consistently. Of course, the elephant in the room is always the White Wild Assault, but you only have so much, you know, burst during a round to use. And on the other hand, you are a very tough character, and, you know, this is a pixie character who deals a lot of, you know, small hits on you, will probably build a lot of burst gauge back for you because of how Season 3 works. So you're probably looking at a situation where the White Wild Assault can be unleashed quite often in the current patch. Oh, got crossed up and probably got the wrong Behemoth Typhoon there, KS. And now without any resources to defend with here, we'll have the deflect shield, which I think KS will probably have to reach for if they still want to play. I kind of agree with this. Instead of burning the burst, just take the loss, move into the next round. The previous one was looking pretty tough in terms of life disadvantage. There we go, finds a 2K. That newly buffed 2K in Season 3. Overhead hits true once again. After you accumulate the 50 meter as Chip Saneth, it's very likely that from your Rekka pressure, you are going to be taking that overhead Rekka into RC, one of the most beloved tools, not only for frame trapping, but also, you know, running an extra mix-up as well as pressure resetting. No OTG this time, deems that it was not quite yet time. And Ehmu, just like that, out of the corner, ready for that Bunky Mess Saikara cancel. This could be tough for KS. KS has all the options available, but Chip has a lot of... Oh! Challenging there on the downwards Alpha. The massive reach of you know, 2P from Gold Lewis, able to find its way there. Got the backdash, and now doesn't quite have the 50 meter to make this a checkmate. However, hard knockdown. Most of your life gone. This baits the deflect shield as well, and no burst because of that whiff deflect shield available for Ehmu. It was basically guaranteed that KS had to RPS some sort of burst option there. The 50-50 was between the reversal burst and the deflect shield. Sort of approaching from trajectories that worked quite well against either one of those, and at least if the burst option was to be a gold burst. Alright, punishing something here. OTG plus frames from the clone. Trying to reach with that 2K once again, which was previously the button that KS was able to win the previous game. Alright, a stray hit here at the 50 for a side swap. And the Behemoth Typhoon is gonna be enough to take the round. Very nice. Alright, sees the whiff. Dashing in for a throw, thrashing in for a command kind. And now what's gonna be next? Overhead, not quite getting to the 50 meter. So won't be able to follow it up. On the other hand, K is completely ready to follow up from that stray hit. Alright. The decision has been made, and there's the triple jump that we were talking about. Not only the triple jump, but also the alpha plates, the diagonals, all sorts of options for you to make yourself land faster from a very different kind of angle that other characters have access to. And that should be enough. Lots of multiple hits, guts crush. And heading into the last round of the game number 2, KS has almost all of their burst gates ready to go. Nice repunish there on the empty 2K. And instant air dash skips over the 2S. 2S is a very active and a nice kind of button to put out against pretty much any other character but Mr. Zanev and maybe Giovanna. There we go, 2S this time. Makes Ehmu run into it. But if you whiff that, even if it's, I think, pretty fast on recovery, I think no button in the game is impossible for Mr. Zanev to whiff punish. Through the wall, hard knockdown, guess for it. Ooh, not feeling RC initially, just waiting for KS's defensive options. Probably sort of acknowledging that you as somebody who is defending against Chip Zanev's pressure, you have to spend something. You can't just sit there. But KS says no. I don't think I will. I don't think I will burn anything. I'll just wait for you to drop your block string. Ooh, the jump B, the secret hidden button. Now into whiff jumpy, into a throw. Guess for the Behemoth Typhoon, where is it gonna come from? Ehmu is trying to use FD as best as they can in order to push Gold Lewis away. Remember, one of the universal ways for you to defend against Gold Lewis Behemoth pressure is to FD and then go for a backdash. But in the corner, those backdash options might be a little more tricky to pull off. And then, of course, you know, we are talking about a DP character in terms of Chip here, so if you are feeling wild, if you're feeling daring enough, you can always try to DP between those Behemoth cancels. Most of them are not airtight, after all. I'm not sure if any Behemoth Typhoon strings are airtight. Right, with the low Rekka, scoring enough damage to pull off a chip kill here. And Chip doing a chip. Right, not too bad. I think whenever you manage to weather the storm of, you know, White Wild Assault and Gold Lewis, or, you know, any of the heavy big buddies can't get a crack on you, that's to be considered some sort of an RPS win. More pressure, close slash into a tick throw, basic stop, more plus frames from the clone. However, KS is able to get a neutral jump out, drone as well. So Ehmu is completely happy, relinquishing all this real estate. Oh no! Missed a Behemoth Typhoon there, easiest punish. With punish off Chip's life. And there we go again, don't you dare to miss it. we're gonna take you to a world of hurt with our little gentleman ninja here. Ehmu grasps the lead here very early into the set.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Alright, going into the command grab. Hasn't been jumped out of even once yet. I think so far 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 is it for Genro-sans. Once again, yeah. It feels much more comfortable relinquishing that real estate when you are Chip Zanuck and you can have all sorts of tricky options to then afterwards to just jump out of the situation. Even this, look at this. How is KS supposed to challenge this? Are you just supposed to like stand back behind your drone and just expect them to alpha blade into you? Those are the big questions that I'm sure many Gold Lewis players are asking themselves when playing that drone RPS. Oh, tried to backdash that, but the close slash from KS finds it smart. Trying to perhaps invite a DP, but I think Ehmu hasn't unleashed even one of those yet in this set. Really great. Sees, or rather predicts the very late extra overhead from the air alpha blade and press the 2P there. And this should be the kill. Not quite, actually. Oh. Oh! White Wild Assault, you rogue! Completely demolishing Zanzeroga there. I mean, to be fair, the drone was also behind Goldless. I think that was like literally a setup that doesn't give a shit about Zanzeroga. I do wonder though, without the drone, would you be able to stay invulnerable as chip player long enough for those moves to just ignore each other? Yeah, I think it was that drone that got the hits, right? Oh, swing and miss, and a whip punish ready to go. 1-2, Bunky Messai. And now, pipe check. KS doesn't quite have enough for a burst. Just like light. Burst comes back just in time, but is this gonna be enough? The little hits, no, the big man, big burly man still stands. But now, if we want to play those burst options, I was about to say, we have to play them very fast. Gold is the color here. Tries to whip punish that alpha blade on the way down, but way too far for Gold Lewis's far slash. It was a nice idea from KS, but unfortunately, the spacing just not quite favoring.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
All right, going into the Kara Super here. Wall break and lots of those good resources coming in. He is biding his time, perhaps waiting to find an opening there. The opening comes from a 2P. Immediate burst from Ehmu. Very respectful kind of momentum burst here. As soon as KS was able to land any sort of a hit here, Ehmu's just nah. I'm not gonna deal with that. I want the round. I will go into the next round with no burst whatsoever, as long as that burst can buy me this round. No questions asked. Once again, very high triple jump into downwards alpha, getting Ehmu out of the corner, but now the danger zone. Get back in there, sweep that ground, that's gonna be a kill. Bam! With that haymaker, delivering enough damage to take Ehmu out from that round. White Wild Assault, decent value, getting a hard knockdown. Of course, you would much rather get the full combo if they get hit just right. Try to reach for the landing frames of the alpha once again, but too far has been basically the story so far for KS. And now from the Kara Super once again. How are we gonna defend? 50 tension ready to go, 50 burst as well. The rudimentary options are available, but none of them have been used. And Ehmu, this time, not opting to RPS with any of that, just goes in and says, all right, burn it. Burn it, Chief. I'm just gonna run my usual pressure, and if you don't do anything about it, then your time will pass. On the other hand, it's very understandable if you want to try to gold burst. All right, that's gonna build at least 50 burst back for KS before the positive bonus ends, or I guess more like 70%, but gonna be able to build into that 50 quite fast. And just a little check there, even though there is a gap between, you know, the drone hitting you. Able to produce a meaty enough Behemoth Typhoon. Now into the corner, danger zone, reaching for the throw. However, the drone got your back. Even if we whiff some, we're still playing. 1, 2, 3, into the corner, and we have Bunky Messai ready to be unleashed. The usual recipe, once again, 50 burst, or rather all the burst and 50 tension ready to go. But any hit is usually gonna lead into another super for Mr. Zanev. And now at this point, yeah, KS can't really justify burning any of that. We'll just take the L and move on to the next round. Jump D. Historically very hard button to challenge here. But so is the Jump D from Goldluis. Both of these characters had basically same fortunate situation with their primary jump-in buttons. Or I guess not really Chip's primary jump-in button anymore in this game, because Jump Heavy is ridiculously good. Speaking of, the Jump Heavy. And blazing forward, Ehmu able to sort of grasp the momentum very early into every single round, which is to be expected, because like Goldluis just doesn't have the buttons to challenge Chip very easily. The only buttons that you can try to hit against, you know, Chip's K and S buttons would be your own K buttons. But even those are so slow in recovery that they're just gonna get whiff punished. Alright, spinning the security gates. Ooh, big Hail Mary! Making Ehmu run into the Behemoth Titan. Look at his damage! But was definitely deserved, because that was a big, massive risk. Speaking of risks, tried to go for an OTG. Look at that! Hit on the leggies, the Jump D extending, and going potentially so low that even 6P couldn't have taken care of that. Nice neutral jump, big punish. Oh, tried to... I wonder if that was a combo miss or if KS just wanted to double it up. And the whiff punish again. Ehmu has proved time and time over that, you know, every single button that you're gonna whiff will just end up in misery. This reversal super is gonna work out though. Not the most churns, but of course you can only churn so much until the super just becomes unusable due to its slow startup speed. Now is KS gonna try to take the set here? Would KS burn burst if Ehmu gets out is the big question. Trying to fish for a hit, plus frames. But again, the drone just does absolutely nothing. And from the Jump B, very nice conversion. That's actually gonna be a kill unless it doesn't stick. But Ehmu was ready to play the follow-up situation just like that. Good presence of mind, good flow. Starting with the White Wild Assault once again. And the Jump D from perfect range ×2, ×3 into a mix-up. Is that plus? I don't know. But Ehmu thought that was. Nice this time. I think that's the first punish. Ooh, but that Behemoth Typhoon, that TK Behemoth Typhoon was definitely not what KS wanted. But the Jump D able to predict the far slash and a perfect timing this time for KS. Look at those Jump Ds. Those Jump Ds, surprisingly or unsurprisingly, one of the few buttons that you can kind of press against Chip. If you can take air, it's you know, some of the biggest disjoints, some of the biggest reach that you can go for without going into like million years of recovery. Ooh, looking like a good trade for KS. Ehmu thought as much. Immediately bursting out of it. Back turn incident, or back throw incident into a big combo. RC to extend. Is it gonna be enough? Sweep the 4. Yes, indeed. KS slowly warming up, slowly hitting all those, you know, I feel like KS has been playing very in a Daredevil-ish kind of way. I mean, eventually you will have to swing. That goes without saying. Even if you're playing against these super good whiff punish characters, such as like Chip, Milia, Geo, eventually you will have to try to swing, right? You can't just sit there and wait for them to take their, you know, their turns for free. Ooh, the timing! Catching Alpha Play from behind and the RPS! Now, even though KS is still quite down on life, literally not anymore though. One hit. DP. Ooh, that's a dangerous DP. When DP misses Wild Assault like that, you're often not put in a advantageous position at all. KS taking the... I think this is the second game in a row. So slowly closing in on Ehmu once again. Starting with a 6P, no cancel. Ehmu kinda sawing back and forth, waiting for potentially the opponent pressing something. It's a very common way of playing neutral for these characters who are super good at whiff punishing. It's like very Street Fighter kind of way. It's like you're hanging around the sort of like the maximum range of their pokes and trying to make them whiff, and potentially looking for a reaction whiff punish. And especially in this matchup, oh, there's the whiff punish! I was about to say, especially in this matchup, a lot of your whiff punishes are gonna be reactionary or on reaction instead of you having to wish punish anything. Which is, I guess, the kind of the other type of whiff punishes that you're looking for if you're trying to whiff punish something that has just not enough recovery for you to feasibly react to. The other only option is to try to predict, move yourself so that they will whiff. Oh, but this is not gonna whiff! Speaking of, here comes KS. Back to the ground with that jump slash. Oh, scores a big hit. That's gonna be a kill, right? Yeah! There we go with the Wild Assault. All the juice that KS had in the tank, however, not able to pin Ehmu down in the corner, and now that might have actually been a massive RPS win for Ehmu. Being able to play against Goat Lewis without, I was about to say without any burst, but then I remember, this is Season 3. You put your opponent through a wall once and they're literally 100 burst again. Oh, they actually scored as a hit still. And now, 2 stocks of Wild Assault ready to go, but KS will have to spend it on a blue burst. Lest they want to be KO'd out of this game here. Ehmu still finds a hit and moves himself to 6 points here. A very classic situation, 3-6. Still within reach, but it will have to be... It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for KS here. Okay, going active very fast, preventing KS from taking air. Yeah, you know Goat Lewis wants to take air. Wants to activate that jump D. All right, reaching for the back throw. Working out in the best kind of way. Yeah, the spacing on the Behemoth Oki completely maybe making Chip's DP whip there. This is a good start, definitely. If we need to pull off 4 games in a row, this is definitely the kind of vibe that you wanna sort of acquire. I say that, and KS goes through the wall, and now we are potentially in a positive bonus loop. However, good RPS there on the backdash. I think that's the first time that KS has been RPSing with a backdash. Tries to swing into the whiff Alpha Blade. Ooh, turn to super. I think that was a slow variant as well. Ehmu hit it? No. But misses the punish as well. Doesn't matter too much in the end. Ehmu does score the round win. And sets point Ehmu once again. 2P, nice hit confirmed. 2P, 2K. Prompting Ehmu to go for a very early burst here to get the ball rolling. Command grab once again. No reaction from KS. Hands-off knockdown here, alright. Life situation looking kind of even, considering the EHP of both of these characters. Ready to go with the Kara Supers once again, break the wall. And now perhaps for the last time, the question is, KS, what you gonna burn? Misses the throw, but it was option select, and then the cross-up alpha at the most opportune moment when the opponent can be KO'd. Nothing is gonna matter. Nothing they press is gonna matter. They will have to correct their guard properly and block it. But there was no cross-ups to be blocked that day. Ehmu sweeps this matchup 7-3. Definitely one of those matchups where Goatluis just doesn't get to play too much, and those times you actually get to play, you just have to squeeze every little, you know, juicy bit out of that, out of those opportunities to pressure Chip. Wait a second, which, or actually, right, because we don't have a card for the next one. So we were planning to do Knee versus Thunder Kitty next, right? Let me check. I think there was some talks about the order. Give me a moment. I'm gonna ask the players who is primed and ready to play next. Alright, so Oni says that they would much rather have the next slot. Which works out for me, if it works out for the rest of the players. Wait, did we do this in a really weird order? Wait, weren't we supposed to play Knee versus Thunder Kitty before? I'm completely sort of I think I made a mistake here. So that's the reason why the players were like, what is happening here? I'm messing up my own order of matches. Yeah, that's kind of what I totally forgot Knee and Thunder Kitty. We were supposed to play that matchup first. All right. So that would mean that if Radune and the Wild are ready to play, we should play that one first. So that means we're heading into this matchup instead next. Yeah, big apologies for the confusion. Not the first time I'm completely out of my mind here. Alright, so Radune working as a kind of a bouncer to another player making their debuts here on Bounty Hunters, Zawild Kai. Another Russian Kai in addition to Jungie, who's gonna be playing later tonight. But I suppose because, you know, yours truly messed up a little, we're not gonna play the Kais back to back. Although, well, we'll see what happens. I think depending on how Ni's errand will go. If they're ready to play next, then we'll play that one. If not, we'll just proceed with the next Kai matchup. It is always like it is a very peculiar way of welcoming you to an event, pitting you against Radune, Leo. Radune is a very different kind of a beast if you're not used to this kind of pace. And in this modern day and age of Guilty Gear Strive, you surprisingly don't see that many Leo players playing actively, at least in, you know, European Celestial anymore. Very strong character for sure, but perhaps a little underrepresented character, considering the power level that Leo Whitefan brings to the table. Perhaps even a slightly forgotten matchup for certain players, unless you have a local Leo to play against and to, you know, absorb that matchup knowledge from. Yeah, I kind of have the same kind of vibe that Leo is a little more popular in the other side of the ocean. It's gonna be king versus king exchange, two relatively standard characters. In addition to just, you know, standard pokes, Leo provides a couple of twists and turns when it comes to playing neutral. Leo, of course, has the ability to enter the parry stance if you hold your S or heavy buttons after whiffing with them, or block as well. And during that parry stance, you can only be tagged low. Now, for Kai, probably the fastest and the most reach that you can gain to RPS that parry stance will be Stun Dipper. Formerly a 5-frame button, nowadays is it like, what, 7 frames or what? Still an extremely fast advancing low move. So will definitely be one of those unreactable tools that you are going to be RPSing with if you like to go into the parry stance at neutral. And I know Radune definitely loves that. I don't really know any Leo players who wouldn't love that. In fact, just going into the parry stance preemptively here on the Oki and super shouldn't be enough, I think, with the guts here. Oh, I also have the wrong names. Let me fix that quick. Radune and Zawild in there. There we go. Those are the faces we're gonna be rocking with. There we go with the close slash punish. Radune, very signature kind of move, starting, you know, certain frequency of rounds with that heavy DP. And you bet your ass you want to have your biggest close slash punishes, your optimal close slash punishes ready to go without meter. Here we go, side to side, the RTLs, the Kiss family special. Oh no! The Zawild went for a slightly too slow of a button there. So 2D from Leo, approximately, is it -8? I think, depending on the spacing, can be a little less. But the gist of that move is, if you have to take Leo's 2D on block, you probably want to go for one of your faster startup buttons, such as like 2K or You know, if the 2D lands right next to you, close slash is possible. But you know, consistency is the king when it comes to fighting games, especially competitive fighting games. I'm finding low with the back turn. Ooh, that might actually reflect. Let's see the active frames. Yes, indeed. Remembers the previous situation from the left corner. 2D. Oh, crushing that. Was that stun dipper that I saw? Overhead into. Tries to go for the command grab a little too early. Radune still has the burst resources to spend. Stun dipper, very fast as it is, activates way before Radune's strike goes online. Now through the wall, Radune has so much meter, and that's gonna... No, that's actually not gonna go through the fireball. Rare footage of the weapon X actually not being able to reach. I think that was probably just matchup knowledge there from zawild. Realizing that, all right, if they have 100 meter, they're probably gonna go super RC. So if I stand here and rev my heavy fireball, it's actually not gonna be able to go through. Oh, the little hesitation there into the DP. He was ready to wait for it. I mean, Radune technically had to make the burst happen there as well, because the next hit would have killed. So good on zawild being on the right Yomi layer, so to speak. Procuring one game under their name as well early to this set. Now Radune not waiting even a second after that electricity has been applied. 2D once again. Uh-oh. I mean, that's definitely one way that you can play the RPS. If Radune wants to RPS with the like, opponent is pressing the button too late kind of an option, then you would have to swing with your flash kick, right? But, here's the but. If zawild is not willing to swing into it at all, if they're not willing to get the 2k or whatever lower damage punish, they could actually end up getting a bigger punish as a result from the DP. It's all, you know, comes down to knowledge of frame data and understanding the spacings in that situation. Once again, zawild is completely comfortable just waiting for the next wild response. 2D, this time it's gonna be punished properly, doubles it up into a 5D tap. Wait, did the 2K 5D actually combo there on counter hit? Wait, that shouldn't be a counter hit, right? Nice block on the overhead, doubles it up into the guard crush, which you technically have to, you know, we're talking about a lot of RPS when it comes to Leo Whitefang, but it is, you know, understandable. Leo has a lot of stuff that will just sort of overload your mental stack. I think this will catch the 2S. Whipping here will go through the wall as well. The players in a rather even Steven situation once again, reading the burst coming in from Radune Leo. There we go. The dash cancel, close slash, scoring a decent amount of wall or, you know, corner carry. Gonna get the wall stick, yes indeed. Spent the wild assault into it to get the hard knockdown, and going with the throw option here. Makes a lot of sense as well to have like decent frequency on your throws if you are venturing into, you know, Leo's close range pressure kind of a range. Nice, sees it. Instant air dash over the fireball. But this time it's gonna be zawild who represents the DP option. I have this tool too. Not necessarily as good as yours, but it is still a DP. And I mean, I guess in terms of its functionality and what you can score from it, you know, the only difference is the startup and perhaps the vulnerability against lows on Kai DP. Very historical kind of a downside. Right, doubles up the plus frames into the Berserker Slash. zawild has been able to find a momentum swinger here. In fact, puts Radune through the wall. 5k, such a nice button against any kind of wild players. I think Kai, you know, extremely meaty 5k can be performed as a safe jab against pretty much any reversal in the game, as far as I'm concerned. 2D, oh my god, catching zawild out of the sky as a pseudo anti-air. Wild options are coming. Cross up, what's next? DP calls out Radune's meaty option here. Radune returns it in kind, switch sides. Oh, too far! The disjoint of that back turn heavy. Scoring the hit, putting zawild through the wall. One hit. Radune is trying to fish with a fireball. Makes sense. It's especially a S fireball for Leo Whitefang. Kind of like a tool that is not usually gonna lead into much, but it's sort of like a quick wipe check, forcing your opponent to perhaps not press any buttons, or if they're very low in health, you can use it to score like the last hits. Oh, nice backdash there against... Is this gonna combo actually? Yes, indeed. Now, lots of very unconventional options available here for zawild. However, the DPRC resolving in favor of Radune, evening the set 2 points each.
Duel 1.
It's two bad ones. Like, it's not very often that you do get to activate your Dragon install and then don't even get to use it. I mean, it's really, I think the Dragon install state is probably a little problematic against Leo, because Leo, has very strong defense, can do, reaction DPs faster than many other characters. I think Dragon install usually wants to make use of perhaps the chip damage potential and stuff like that, but you can't really contain Leo just like that. At least very easily. You're usually like, if you're gonna be RPSing against something, it's gonna be RPSing against like Leo's reversal DPs, just like so. And in that case, I think it doesn't really matter if you are in Dragon install state or not, because like your DP punish combos are gonna basically KO the opponent out of the round anyway if you get the read right. Right, is it close enough? Not quite, but Radune getting the corner position, swings into the parry stance, and Radune with the punish. There's Fireball, won't be able to go active fast enough, and here comes zawild. Quite a lot of life disadvantage to fight through. DP calls out the back turn heavy. Oh my god, lands into another DP, only with Radune. Do you get to experience the thrill of guessing for big damage numbers, but also the frustration when you guess wrong? It's like, of course. Right? Dashing, oh my god, Radune does the same. Both players have acquired positive bonus through rather unconventional means here. Look at it. SDP actually punishing Far Slash there. Alright, it's starting to heat up. We're starting to use the options that are a little more custom made for the matchup. zawild, as well as Radune, turning on the frequency with those throws. The weapon X is gonna deliver enough damage and a wall break as well if that wasn't enough from where that came from. There we go, punish. That was punish from, unfortunately, from Far Slash though. Ooh, that's a big starter. The flip kick as an anti-air counter hit is almost guaranteed always gonna take the opponent into the corner and gives Kai an opportunity to get a wall break as well. Drops the combo. Here comes the DP. Radune still working with a burst. And zawild, of course. He's seen it. He knows it's coming. Or from another point of view, you could maybe call that, I mean, you might as well RC there. Because like if they will burst, great, you get it. And if they won't, well, you'll be able to pick up your combo again and get the wall break and get the kill. I guess the extra layer comes from if you use the RC and they don't burst, and then they pick up their combo again and then they burst, then you use that 50 meter for nothing, of course. But, you know, the layers are kind of infinite when it comes to, you know, trying to predict the timing of the opponent's burst. Every single hit is a potential burst spot. Going in with the throws, OTG, 5k, and Radune once again unleashing the SDP. the victim of the season 3. Oh, I think Radune went for a throw here, so the RTL is gonna work out. Corner to corner. Not the best frame situation from the RTL. I guess most of the time you would love the RTL to break the wall. Missing with the turbulence. As a Wild ready to take the punish as well. Red Wild Assault, keep it going. Look at this. There was basically just a block string, but it has been able to take Radune from the west coast to the east. Ooh, very far hit. Oh my god, goes for the big RPS once again. Not even checking what the opponent is doing. Slamming on the reversal or the back turn. Specific reversal, back turn D. Oh, but it was a trap! Sees the heavy fireball coming from miles away. It's like, yeah, I ain't gonna respect that. The zawild had the trap set and went for a for the flip kick instead. Once again, sees where the burst is coming from. Radune still has 50 meter. Trading with a 2D. Radune can't afford to trade anymore. Well, this button is gonna be not gonna be trading. Tries to. I think that was a backdash Radune tried to play there at the end. There was a lot of options, you know, a lot of RPS situations where Radune had to potentially bait a DP and or just a reversal mash, and they just didn't have the life to do it. A straight hit from the 5 heavy. Tries to reach in with a 2S. There's a little bit of a disjoint in that Leo 2S. So I reckon on a perfect spacing could probably perform a meaty that can bait a reversal SDP from Kai. Go tap 5D, switch sides. Are we gonna get the wall? No, but deflect shield. Deflect shield is very dangerous if you're trying to deflect an opponent that is already in the corner. Now jump slash from Leo is able to go active fast enough, so the flip kick, nice reflect. However, once again, zawild knows the trajectory and the timing. It's as if zawild already knew that the reflect was gonna happen and chose basically an approach that would counter Radune Leo's. Oh, wait a second. What? I look away for a second and we're round starting with a 5D. This is definitely going into the wilder options again. I think this is just zawild saying, all right, I think you're not reacting to the stuff I'm doing. I think you're probably doing just, you know, you might be just doing the DP. I wonder if Kai's 5D charge is one of those moves that could cause enough disjoint and could cause the reversal DP to whip. Is that perhaps one of the reasons why zawild is swinging with it, perhaps? There we go again, the trap. If you jump out of that, you are gonna be meeting some sort of an anti-air sequence from Kai, and again! Radune will probably have to find a burst here, does so, preventing the positive bonus. But is that gonna be enough? Yes, indeed. zawild. The reaction check options. Introducing layers never seen before, at least during the 6 or 7 so matches that we played earlier. Oh my god. I think Radune has been able to basically how I'm trying to think of a way how to put this in the nicest possible way. Radune Leo has been able to touch the opponent so deeply that the match has just sort of devolved into a, what's a good word to put it? Like a mud fight, like a complete tavern brawl. DP's going back and forth. Deflect shield is definitely gonna push that DP far away, but that unfortunately is gonna sort of lower your potential of the punish. Reversal DP, or rather reversal super. There are some added benefits to reversaling with an RTL or the Weapon X from. Oh my god! And of course, was ready with the DP cancel as well. Or perhaps it just came out automatically because both players were, you know, just trying to mash it. And, you know, Kai's SDP would produce a jump slash. Gorilla to gorilla communication right here. But which one is the stronger gorilla? Looks like Radune will have this round. Or does he? Goes for a hard bait. Radune still Rocking with the burst if they want to use it. I think that was a zawild trying to hard bait it there on the far slash. And now 6P, RC. That is going to be a wall break, but is it going to be enough damage? Yes, just enough. zawild moves into the fabled 6-point position here. One more to go, and Radune will basically have to play from the exact same situation as the previous pair. 4 in a row is what we need here for Radune to bring this home. 2D from Leo goes active faster than the flip kick from Leo, or sorry, from Kai. Which side? No, not that side. Again? Oh, this time a very delayed option there. I think Radune might have actually believed in the reversal RTL. Overhead. Oh, we're still bursting here. I wonder if that was careful with the chip damage. That might have been a very emotional option there. Now, gonna move into the next round without any burst whatsoever. Ooh, with punishing the far slash with an SDP. However, here comes the zawild. Waiting for all of them to come out. 2D and then the DP. Looking towards the corner. Potentially wall stick inbound. Still has the 50 meter. Lands to the other side with the jump D. And there we go, the airtight 5D. Just taps. Little tap on the noggin. Sort of checking, are you blocking properly? Usually you would perform airtight sequences like that with a low option instead, because lows tend to be the directions where, or like the sequences that will catch their, DP churns or their super churns. Right, the neutral jump finds its mark, and zawild is able to fight themselves out of the corner. SDP though, very late RC, won't be able to confirm. This time maybe? No, not this time either. But the follow-up situation, the jump D from Radune Leo calling out the throw attempt. And it's Radune who goes for the throw this time. Both players are baiting back and forth. The DP combo misses. However, which side? 2K with the slowdown frames, forcing Radune to burst as well. But here it comes again, the Gorilla 2D. Will be able to jump over most of your low profiling pokes. It's not very uncommon that Kai would be swinging with button. Oh my god, and again. How does the round start 5D work? How? Why? I don't understand. We are at astral layers. Layers never reached by humankind before. But somehow, all of those RPS options, they are working out. But here comes Radune Leo. Through the jungle we go. Overhead, lows, right, lefts and rights. And the super will take the wall. Like I said, we'll never take the wall. In fact, we'll reset zawild in a perfect situation to get the round there. Nice decision making by Radune Leo. Alright, do it again. This time the jump D not hitting properly the combo into the DP though. I believe it's possible though, because Sin has basically the exact same kind of jump D that can combo into their own 9-framer. Speaking of 9-framers, ooh, going under the fireball arc, but the RTL once again will take the opponent to the other corner. Too far to go through with the weapon X. Radune can't really afford to take any hits here. Unleashing the back turn D in parry stance, thinking that maybe the DP was coming. That is, after all, one of the few things that you can bait the DP with if you are in back turn. There we go! That's the idea. It will call out both, it will call out their, reversal mashes, of course, but the big money option that you are actually looking for is the DP. Because by definition, when you are in back turn, when you are in Brunhilder stance, you cannot block, you cannot hold back, it will not make you block. So basically, if you are point blank with your opponent who has a DP ready to be unleashed, yeah, this exact sequence is the only thing that you can technically do. Unless you want to back yourself away from the immediate point blank position. Oh my god, we're introducing layers here. Stun Dipper, fast low, going active. but misses the combo. That's slightly unfortunate for zawild. And Radune Leo perhaps looking to completely throw this situation around. He needs one more to... Wait, is it already almost even? But let's not jump the gun here, because Radune Leo is not out of the woods yet. Into a Berserker Slash. zawild tried to backdash there. Getting caught, pressing buttons on Wake Up. Sometimes you have to, you know, introduce the layer 1, which is just going in with the meaty. Even though there is an opportunity for your opponent to potentially backturn or to DP your back turn, you can't be too afraid. You have to introduce all of the RPS options on a regular basis. Otherwise, your opponent ain't gonna believe they are there. 6P into a very simple combo. Radune Leo. Wait, did I put... Is it already? I could swear it was not, you know, 6-6 yet, but perhaps it is. Did I put an extra point on Radune? It's looking like to be a comeback. Both players trying to unleash their gold bursts. Neither one finding the mark. There we go, kind of cheeky situation. Kind of looking like Radune was trying to dash through on Wake Up, but then appearing on the front side and performing a perfect meaty. This will go through the wall. Now lots of resources to defend with here for zawild. Blue RC, yes, probably nothing you can do about that. If you get slowed down in the parry stance. Ooh, taking a gold burst as a punish, all right. Let's see the punish combo. Do we got anything special? The heavy DP in Dragon Install slamming Radune into the sky. But of course, if you are using Dragon Install, you better make sure that you have the combos to make it work as well. Missing with the stun dipper. Radune was DPing over, and a serendipitous stroke of luck. Radune suddenly finding himself in a set point position. One more DP works out for zawild, baits Radune's DP. There is no remorse here. If you whip a DP from either player, both players very low on burst. Here we go, far slash punish, not the one that, you know, zawild was probably hoping for, but we'll work with it. Mid screen to corner, and the wall break should be enough. Yes, indeed. Swipe it lightning fast. Both players on that point. Radune Leo not quite ready to spend the burst, but it is coming out very soon. Now, it's an extra get me out of the jail card. Not for free, but relatively for free. Might have to use it here. No, the combo was dropped. So Radune's patience pays off. Baits the DP, or rather the throw. Close slash, that's a very hard punish. Radune Leo still not flinching. We'll have to think about the burst soon. Or will he? What if the opponent will just hard bait all the way till you have the round? Oh, the jumpy won't be able to move forward fast enough. There's the burst. Radune Leo, no more takebacks. 6P calls out the 2D. The 5D charge is met by the... This doesn't go over, right? No, but it doesn't hit clean. And Radune almost getting an opportunity to punish. Parry stance. Oh, flip them to the other side. This won't be a kill, but this is a hard knockdown. zawild has nothing but 100 meter ready to go, or rather burst ready to go. Burst Radune into the corner, but look at his meter. It does not make any difference if your SDP doesn't make contact with the opponent. Won't be able to use that 50. Won't be able to make that DP safe. What a mud fight. It's been a while since Radune has had an opponent who is willing to adapt the exact same mindset. It was quite the match for sure. All right, let's see. Now, give me a moment. Let me check some stuff here. TO things. So I think we got a word from Blisske as well that they in fact, in attempt to fix their controller, they might have actually completely broken their controller. So the Bliskke versus Decoy Snail at the end of the event looking like it might or might not happen. What about the Knee versus Thunder Kitty? Alright, we have Knee, and I think Thunder Kitty was primed and ready to go as well. So that would mean, at the very least, we're gonna have 2 more matchups tonight. The first one being Knee versus Thunder Kitty, and the second one, YaBoiSpades versus Jungie. So 2 Ungie matchups coming back to back. Now Ungie has had a very interesting season 3, I wanna say. I mean, ever since the start of season, or rather, ever since like the vanilla Strive, Ungie has been considered one of the least fortunate characters in terms of, you know, when it comes to the game balance and tier lists and what have you. The further into the lifespan of Guilty Gear Strive we've sort of delved into, slowly they've introduced all sorts of small things that have made Ungie stronger and better and just have a little bit more quality of life little by little. And now I think at the end of season 3, we've reached sort of a point where a lot of people will actually put Ungie in some of the higher tiers, unironically. Now, I won't comment on whether, you know, that's the objective truth or not, but the fact of the matter remains is that, you know, Ungie kind of has some... Ungie definitely has some amount of fighting chance in this season when it comes to competition. Now, I would argue that Ungie still is perhaps a little unstable due to, you know, the nature of your character. High-level Guilty Gear is, of course, for, you know, many top-level competitors about minimizing variance, reducing uncertainty factors from your play. And Ungie is kind of a character who never really gets to eliminate that uncertainty completely, due to sort of the virtue of being a very RPS-heavy character. Your strongest stuff is still very much tied to the Gorilla Spin. And this will be the next matchup here versus Thunder Kitty Johnny. Versus Johnny, a character who has extremely far range, you're gonna have to spin. Characters like Nago, characters like Johnny, characters like Axel, characters like Sin, you're gonna have to spin. There's no way around it. Your neutral isn't as good as theirs. So that puts Ungie in a kind of like a very high risk, high reward kind of a situation where best case scenario, you spin through their move and can potentially, well, the very least you get a heart knockdown, but best case scenario, you can even get a close slash starter. And this is a character that has, you know, some of those juiciest close slash starting combos in the game. Right, both of these gamers exactly on their third match on Bounty Hunters.
Mankind.
Relatively new faces, although with the massive amount of Norwegian players we've had coming in as of late, it feels like, you know, the Norwegians have been here to stay for a long time. as is the case with Thunder Kitty. Ooh, makes the burst here, and now this is where the fun begins. So hard knockdown, and Ungie, I think Ungie actually gets to RPS Johnny a little bit at the hard knockdown mid-screen situation. If you deal and then try to unleash a Mistfinder, I think the parry super can somewhat take care of that, perhaps. Thunder Kitty trying to find the last hit here. Gotta be really careful if Ungie manages to get their game started. Here comes the combo. Gonna end it rather early to put Thunder Kitty through the wall. Got lots of different ways of defending here. Goes into an empty throw. Very patient here, trying to wait for a mistake. That 5D actually reaches even after the backdash. Holy moly. I still get that clip on that 6 speed. Get out of there. That's not a place for you to be. But Johnny, you're not giving a fuck. Still approaching from the sky, approaching from all the angles. Yeah, it's gonna be once again the whiff a normal in the air, land into a meaty throw. Oh, should be able to see, yes, sees the spin coming. Be able to get a punish there with a throw, and another one. Even though Johnny really not exactly a grappler of any kind, it's from that throw situation in the corner, because they're gonna be scared of a lot of very explosive options from like the TK Mistfinder or just the good old close slash meaty. It's very realistic for you to be able to. Ooh, nice RPS though, dashing forward on that shin. Now, many characters have an option to sort of align themselves with Ungie and hard read jump and get a big counter hit out of the air when Ungie is going for that plus frame follow-up. But I think Johnny having an access to a step dash will be able to move themselves forward extremely fast. Maybe one of the few characters who can just dash forward as an RPS option. However, here comes the new route, able to pick up the combo after a Hujin. Specifically that Hujin low follow-up, which now bounces the opponent up into the air and allows for a 5k pickup. Definitely the kind of well-needed quality of life that Ungie players have all been waiting for. The stagger pressure, Thunder Kitty not believing in that at any sort of measure. Deal into guard crush. Very nice knee, staying on top of the RPS options. Able to take that throw out of the guard crush still. Misses the follow-up, or rather the ender there, and now Knee has an option. Could this actually be a kill? We'll get a wall, or could get a wall slump if they so desired, but perhaps dropping the combo prematurely was the better option. And now the punish, Deflect Shield into an immediate Hujin. Ooh, the 2D actually activating fast enough and able to prevent Thunder Kitty from pressing anything there. Very nice, like frame perfect decision making, or what should we call it? When you kind of unleash that RC, you only have a limited amount of frames to sort of recognize what is going on and pick up your own option for the next follow-up situation. And unless you are kind of a knower of frames, sometimes it's kind of hard to determine what the opponent's starting up move is based on the, like the first couple of frames. But the more you know, the more you've been looking at hitboxes, the better those kinds of situations are gonna be for you. 6k! Swiping Knee out of the sky high situation. that historical get out of there, it's not your place to be kind of a move, Johnny 6K. Go. Red Wild Assault into a deal, into a guard crush. Good block on the overhead. However, we're doubling it up with a fully charged 5D, and he has no way of aborting that sequence. Close slash, gets the jump out. Perhaps first world problems, launching a little too high there, missing the combo. Reversal super, what's my name, is gonna take care of it. And put Thunder Kitty once again in the leading position here very early into this set.
Mankind. Duel 1. Let's rock.
Alright, into the next one. Both players, 5K versus, was that 2D? Both players whipping on each other's. Of course, a lot of the standard 5Ks in Guilty Gear Strive tends to be slightly low crushing, meaning that sort of the front part of your front legs hurt box on the bottom part will actually sort of retract and be able to survive against incoming lows. Bit of a chunky sequence there. We'll be able to see the reversal super coming out, block, and then canceling. I think that was a canceling block string into a gorilla spin as well, which is usually like a sequence that you would use against characters who have really good DPs. Like if you think that they're gonna be canceling into, if you think they're gonna be churning their DPs during your block strings and trying to catch your gaps, you might just cancel your normals into the Suigetsu no Hakobi, and then call out their mashes with a close slash after that. Right through the wall. Also a bonus on a rather equal ground here. We'll be able to see the forward. Wait, was that a Fujin actually? The Mistfire! The up Mistfire actually not slicing the card, so the guard crush did not happen. So Thunder Kitty ended up being punished for her troubles here. Go slash, missed the conversion. YRC get off me. Both players have a lot of that. Oh my goodness! Was trying to make that a YRC of their own, I think Knee was. But turned into a blue RC. And by slowing down Thunder Kitty's frames, was able to, you know, again, see the situation and get the punishing option out. Fault forward, now punished by Knee, and now the active frames, the infinite active frames almost, it feels like sometimes, of that parry super. Thunder Kitty was waiting for a rather lengthy moment there before pressing a button, but still that parry super active. Go deflect shield, making that TK Mistfire whiff. Lands from the wall straight into a close slash punish. 2K. Gee, Thunder Kitty, how does your mom let you have 3 2Ks in a single combo? Certainly not the most optimal conversion, but we'll take what we can get. I wonder if the connection here is pristine, because we're getting a like slightly awkward looking frame drops here and there. Either way, as it would look here, Thunder Kitty scoring the 3rd win.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
I think both players have acknowledged that the spikes are happening. But luckily it's only here and there, so maybe if luck has it, we will be able to pull through this matchup without too many of super, whatchamacallit, game-breaking slowdowns. That's a rough, oh my god, goes for a fully charged 5D. And I think if you spend the RC on that guard crush, that could potentially actually be... that could be an airtight fully charged 5D if I'm not wrong. For all I know, at least. Because that does produce quite a lot of plus frames if you choose to combine that, you know, turn up with an RC. It is already like so plus to begin with. Nice this time. Knee, remember that red wild assault situation from the previous round. And gambled on the throw tech again. YRC, get off me. Ah, that was a really good YRC, able to sort of completely negate all of that wild assault that Thunder Kitty put onto that pressure sequence. Now, life situation equalized. 5k from Knee, calling out that 6k from Thunder Kitty. The option plus frames. Again, into an overhead. However, drifting out of that, trying to fish for a whip punish. 100 meter going into those YRC's gold burst. There's gonna be so much of that where that came from. And Thunder Kitty making the executive decision there that on low health like that, it's probably not the best idea to unleash the burst. Yeah, we can save it for this round instead. Again, going for the bolt, just raw empty bolt without the deal. It's basically like a hyper. I think you're either not like you don't know what's going on, or you're just very late on your reaction times kind of a situation. Because I think usually from a neutral position, you should be able to react to a bolt with a 6-speed just straight up. Here we go, nice corner carry, and now looking for the last mix-up. One hit, doesn't come from the throw, unfortunately. Thunder Kitty having the perfect read, backdash into a coast-to-coast, and that's actually surprisingly close to killing, but not quite. Jungie is, after all, one of the heavier guys. Drift back, sees the throw, get the punish combo. Oh my god, and pump drifting into a punish of their own. There's been so many blue RC drifts happening in this matchup.
Mankind new. Duel 1.
Alright, let's see what kind of developments we can get for Knee here. Nice whip punish there. Perfect timing on the Fujin. Yeah, it is going to be minus if you don't combine that Volt deal with an RC. But the thing is, it is not punishable. So you're basically RPSing between Johnny player trying to push that card deal, even while they are minus, or they might be trying to backdash. So then your job is to try to hunt for that backdash. The hard knockdown, backing up, out of that situation. Thunder Kitty had no intention of unleashing the reversal super there, and will be able to derive value from Knee backing out of the pressure. Ooh, is that gonna connect with the spin? No, not quite. Tail end of that 6 heavy still gets a hit. RC and combo. Is it gonna stick? Stick would be really nice here. Yes, indeed. Able to work with a really nice combo route as well, denying all of that meter that Thunder Kitty had built. Nice whip punish once again. It's even though Johnny has massive range for pretty much all of his, like most of his relevant pokes, most of them are extremely on the are very much on the whip punishable side of things. Now this time Knee will be able to react to that fully charged 5D. Smack them with the fish, caught them trying to backdash, and into a full conversion. Let's see if we can. Yeah, we're gonna go with the wall stick variant instead of dropping the combo. Knee did have the burst to spend on the hard knockdown. Oh my goodness, the fast RC shenanigans. Did you block that? Because I sure as hell didn't. What was that? That was like a Hujin something into a slingshot FRC into an overhead. Alright, with the BMB, lots of corner carry. Again, missing the last misfire, which will probably almost every time put Thunder Kitty in a very disadvantageous situation. Mix it, working with the 6P. I think, luckily, Johnny's 6P, not the most furthest reaching 6P in the game, so won't be activating Knee's Gorilla Spin. However, will activate the reversal super here. Rather, the reversal parry super. lead into a hard knockdown, and now we have 50 burst available, as well as the 50 meter. Both players spending as much as they can, frame trapping from that 6P into a Hujin. Really nice execution. You often see a lot of players when they are swinging with 6Ps and they realize that, oh shit, my 6P actually didn't work as an anti-air here. It landed on a grounded opponent. Sometimes people freeze up and don't cancel it, and that's a grave sin in Guilty Gear Strive. Because pretty much every single 6P is gonna be more or less punishable, or at least extremely minus on block. But this ain't gonna be minus. Shin into plus frames, finds the low, spends them reeling. Missing the combo though, still in it. Thunder Kitty using the 50 meter on YRC, as has been, you know, the fate of a lot of Thunder Kitty's meter instead of that reversal super. Fortunately, won't be able to buy her the position to get out. But still, Thunder Kitty is in the lead, 4-3, even though Ni is slowly closing in.
Mankind knew that they...
Adapting to your opponent's RPS, definitely one of the biggest themes in this matchup. Jungie being the primary suspect to enforce that RPS. Never can you put out your hitboxes as Johnny player, you know, guaranteed. Such is the case here. Tried to both deal straight into the gorilla spin and getting knocked down for their troubles. Nice backdash. Will be able to push herself out of the corner. In fact, make it better. Switch sides. Spending 100 on that reversal parry RC. Is that the poor man's parry option select? Same kind that Baiken players tend to run with. Go got the far slash. Was probably hoping for a close slash, but that time hadn't spun close enough yet. We'll get what we can take. Close slash on the backdash again, but hard bait. Oh, and sees it coming in. The reversal parry super won't quite break the wall. Will be potentially able to box Johnny in the corner unless Thunder Kitty just dashes forward, making me completely whiff that anti-air attempt on the claw. And now, how turns have tabled. Hard knockdown for Thunder Kitty. Trying to catch that backdash, not quite getting it. Deflection pushing Thunder Kitty away and getting the parry on the spin. And Ni has been able to officially flip the situation around. He was down a couple of games in that 3-2 position, but now the score completely even. Yeah, sees the jump, sees the instant air dash coming, able to unleash that good 6P. Oh, that's one way of diffusing the butterfly mix-up. Run face first into it. Backdash close slash once again, the tool of the trade for Thunder Kitty to get out of that corner pressure position. However, Ni ready to unleash the reversal super as well. Nice snipe there. If you butterfly from, you know, if you butterfly without that frame advantage, without that Oki, Johnny with 50 meter. Oh my god, it's a backdash shitty. Both these players have had a lot of really good success with the backdash into close slash to call out each other's corner pressure so far. We go into an immediate TK overhead option. We'll be forced to break the wall here in absence of any kind of relevant resource. Flyby tag on that gorilla spin. Let's see. Their reversal super will be able to call out that 2S. And now, life situation. Favoring Thunder Kitty quite a bit. Just dashing past that card. We're not gonna need that. Check on the throat once again. I think Thunder Kitty, every single time that she's been going for that red wild assault, has been opting to go for the throw option, which Ni might be starting to sort of catch onto. Tries the reversal parry, somehow another one. All right, that was those both were attempts. But Thunder Kitty having the patience of the Saint here. 5B attack, yeah, instead of taking the small starters 6B, we're taking the chat starters instead. 5B and close slash is where the money's at. And now on the approaching trajectory, backdash bar slash once again preventing Knee from trying to work themselves in. Premature wall break here, multiple hits from that bolt deal. Finds the low follow up. Hard bait, but Thunder Kitty not quite ready to burst yet. Will have to do so here if she wants to, you know, get any sort of opportunity to spend it still. Guard break, now YRC, wait. Huh? Wait, I thought you can't YRC guard breaks. Or wasn't he out of the guard break already? Ooh, the instant air backdash. A lot of stuff that's whipping here. Jungie, again, the backdash! The backdash has been the godsend tool. But it's not over yet. Ready to unleash the parry super. Just believing in it. Believing that the meaty is coming. And coming it was. God, there was just so much back and forth there. Deflect shield still active somehow. Thunder Kitty bursting knee back into the corner for a little bit of corner pressure deal into. We can break the guard here. Here we go, lots of plus frames. OT, or rather TK overhead. Completely read by Knee once again. Knee has been super good at predicting when the overheads are coming out. It is basically an unseeable high-low, technically. Here we go, get the wall break. Opting to use burst instead of the meter. Perhaps the better option for Jungie? Because Jungie, you know, to make the best of his, you know, Hujin situations, if you want to, you know, get actual super good mix-ups on the opponent, you would probably have to have the 50 meter ready to go. Ooh, Deflect Shield pushing Thunder Kitty away just barely enough from that Nsenga. Once again, standing up, this guy just knows. He knows when the overheads are coming, but we're not out of it yet. Backdash, clone slash once again. I think that's an unbeatable option so far. Has either one of these gamers actually called that out properly? There are a couple of different ways that you can battle it. You can, for example, choose to, instead of, you know, there's a couple of different times that you can choose to unleash your close slash meaty. You can go as, you know, as a perfect meaty, whereas you're just barely gonna be whipping and then you're recovering faster than your opponent. Perhaps even allowing you to option select those. Or you could go for a close slash that hits very early and tries to aim, or rather aims to catch the, whatchamacallit, the recovery frames of the close slash. Either way, with the use of Wild Assault, again, the throw option. I think Knee must, oh, nice! Dashing under the shin once again. The big hard read. Gaining Thunder Kitty massive value with that kill. Jungie is very tough, very hard, very high guts and attack, or sorry, defense modifier, but not saving Knee this time. Moving back to back towards the championship rounds here. 2 to go for either player. Hujin already going active. So the bolt deal is gonna be called out. Not this time though. I swear, that's like one of Thunder Kitty's favorite kind of tools to extract value from. Sort of fake a bolt deal RC and just don't go for the deal at all and go for a throw instead. It's a very classic kind of sequence from previous games. Of course, in the previous games, the threat would usually be the swipe travel YRC, so the YRC would be the sort of deterring factor. But in this one, ooh, again, Switching sides back and forth, 6 heavy hits, no cancel. Here comes the big combo though. Wall is getting decently damaged. Ooh, I think that was a conscious drop there in order to do this. Sort of try to go and kill with the next hit, although this super, one of the weakest supers in terms of damage it offers, so won't be able to KO Johnny here quite yet. Sees the 6P going active, unleashing a gold RC, gold burst. Oh my god, I'm going all over the place today. Bar slash 9-frame normal. Not really challenging that with Ungie's startups, I believe. Close slash anti-air, one of the biggest, one of the baddest. Reaches so high for Johnny as well. And a close slash. It's gonna be very close to KOing Knee out of this. Once again, deflect shield is such a good option against those high-low situations. No matter which option Johnny plays, if it's the low, deflect shield will take care of it. If it's the TK Mistfinder, deflect shield will take care of that as well. Ooh, was baiting for that YRC, and finally rewarded for her troubles, rewarded for her patience. There's in fact a lot of RPS options that both of the players play here that reward just pure patience on Wake Up or on their own Oki. But at the same time, both players are very avid users of backdashes as well. So if you just sleep on the opponent's or if you just sleep on your own Oki and wait for too many frames, the opponent might just be backdashing out of the situation completely. Right, that instant overhead, finding it Mark for the first time in 10,000 years and scoring the round for Thunder Kitty. I mean, we've been talking about how consistently Knee has been blocking that, but it is a 50-50. So logic dictates that unless the opponent has some sort of a very readable pattern, you shouldn't be blocking it like too often, more than much too often than just 50% of the time. Uh-oh, with a throw. Immediately following up with a burst. Knee dancing around using that meter. But now contained in the corner. There's the low option. Yeah, that might be one of the adjustments that Thunder Kitty could make here. Just play raw low options, or just wait for the deflect shield or the reversal parry. Those are kind of value options to bait out as well. And I think that would be 7 points for Thunder Kitty from that even 5-5 position, taking a last-minute sprint towards the finish line. Just like that. 1, 2, and the game is over. Right, but another back and forth battle concludes, and depending on how stuff goes, we at least have one more matchup left. So Spades Ungie is going to be facing our second Russian Kai player of the evening, Jungie. Jungie has had an extremely strong run on Bounty Hunters so far. I think losing only one game out of his 5 Bounty Hunters matches. And even that one loss was just literally last round double Luigi kind of a beat. So let's see if they are able to sort of continue with that triumphant approach here. Will be another Ungie that they're gonna be facing here. So lots of RPS inbound. Unless you were able to tell from the previous game. Kai definitely has the reach advantage, but in terms of raw damage, Ungie might take the cake. And the normal advantage that, you know, characters such as Kai would love to derive
Change society.
against Jungie is oftentimes you just can't have it for free. Like we were talking about earlier, the spin will always RPS you from almost any range. So if you try to swing with 4 slashes, 6 heavies, 5 heavies, even like, you know, even stun dippers can get caught by the spin and then punished with big numbers. Alright, here we go. Spades from Finland. 3rd week in a row, I believe, as well. 6 2Ps, that faded button that Jungie players really love to use. So 2P from Jungie, a 5-framer that has exceptional reach and an exceptionally good hitbox. So if there are frames to press, it has a tendency to reach far and also to reach sort of vertically very high as well. Here we go, I believe that was a Kara Nagiha, catching Jungie off guard from almost half screen away. So Jungie in Season 3 has gained a little bit of like extra reach in terms of like tricky Kara moves that he can do out of those Hoojins. 2P again, doubles it up in a very classic kind of way, reads the burst as well, and that should go into a kill. Spades cleaves the first game of this set extremely fast. And that's kind of something that you can look forward to if Spades manages to somehow get into the heat of the into the opponent's guard and into the mix-up situation. If he finds the hits, Jungie is definitely one of the highest damage characters in the game. I mean, there are a lot of, look at that, the 2P, we were talking about the verticality of that 2P. It has what it takes to anti-air opponents from very high up. Now dancing into the projectiles. Spinning the projectiles can always be like a little bit of a hit and miss kind of a thing, because you don't exactly get the same, you don't lock the opponent in the same kind of situation. If they are striking at you, then by definition they can't really be doing anything else. But if you spin fireballs, the opponent could be nowhere to be found, or better yet, might be ready to just press buttons against you afterwards. Through the wall once again. Spades goes for one of his signature moves. And the call. Yeah, see, think the opponent is gonna be in the air? No worries, just call. There's not a whole lot of things in the game that could realistically challenge Call's hitbox, especially if you're airborne yourself. Go finding another Hoojin, doubles it up with an RC. Could be a wall break if Spades so desires. Takes it, takes the positive bonus. Makes sense because you have such a massive life lead here. Lots of plus frames. That was a split kick on the electricity, but Jungie tried to go for some sort of a bait after it. Perhaps. Yeah, I wonder what that was. But Spades was having none of that, just ready to press a button instead. Ooh, very nice timing on the burst. Gets a gold one. SDP getting Jungie out of the situation momentarily. There we go. And the Kara Nagiha is an interesting tool. Minus, I believe, 7 on block. But the problem is that Nagiha tends to push you very far away. So unless you're instant blocking that Nagiha, you're not necessarily gonna get a guaranteed punish, depending on the spacing and who your character is. So oftentimes, like, your best bet is to actually RPS Jungie on the follow-up situation. So for example, dash forward and try to catch his backdash, or try to catch him sleeping, maybe dash into a throw, or, you know, if you're if the Untitled player thinks that you're gonna do one of those things, then you can maybe just press a button and try to frame trap them. There we go, sees the spin, dashing forward. Dashing forward is often like, it's a very double-edged sword kind of a thing. On one hand, you would love to be dashing forward and try to react to what Jungie is doing. If you see a spin, you can just strike or throw without much risk. But on the other hand, if you're dashing at Jungie, then they say that that's actually what Jungie players want. If the opponent is dashing at you and not pressing their buttons, that means you get to press your buttons. And you get to take advantage at neutral. Oh, the gold burst actually ends up whipping completely. And if that gold burst is not blocked, that means punishing damage inbound. Now last mix-up opportunity for Spades. Just goes for a pressure reset instead. And the Shin, Hujin follow-up catching a backdash there. It's a very nice option, I would say. Because it's kind of not really a meaty, it's kind of like a pseudo-meaty, but it's gonna call out a lot of different kinds of sequences from your opponent. If they try to backdash, catches it. If they try to respect, you're gonna get plus frames. If they try to mash on the ground, ooh, speaking of mashing, the right option is of course mash in the air instead. Jump with Jungie and then press a button and counter hit out of that Shin. Exactly what Jungie was doing here. There we go, once again spinning into the fireball. And finds the Nagiha. Low follow-up. Don't you dare press anything. If you're churning DP, if you're churning super, if you're doing anything but low blocking that Nagiha, you can make it airtight, and that Nagiha is gonna catch you. And now with the new Season 3 changes, gonna hit pretty, or gonna score a lot of damage out of that as well. Speaking of big damage, through the wall. What's it this time? Again? With the Shin? Yep. And I think, actually I wonder if you play that option and steer backwards as Spades here, I wonder if it calls out the SDP from Kai as well. Well, very delayed overhead there, and the hard bait, committing it to it fully. So some players go a very half-assed bait sometimes, where they try to hard bait with a jump cancel, and then try to follow it up immediately afterwards, allowing a slightly delayed burst to still hit them. But Spades was on top of all of it. The wave punish on Hujin. It feels like Spades is finding all the possible angles here. But this is what strong Ungies make it look like. It makes it seem like even though the opponent's character should theoretically have the advantage at neutral because of their better pokes and what have you, it makes them look like fools. Because there's that, that ever-present hesitation against that tool that is the spin right here. You can't just poke into it. You have to have your timings on point. Of course, the go-to big reward call-out option would be to predict the timing of their spin and try to target the recovery frames of the spin. But that's not the easiest thing to do either, because there's variation between like the fast spin and the fully charged spin as well. You can make the spin start very slowly and have extended active frames, or you can make it start really fast. So even when you're RPSing with the spin, you're also, in addition, oh my god, look at that! Jungie with the air DP option. YRC plus 10. Gonna get a nice juicy Oki situation. Really nice showcase here for, how much you can actually do with YRC. Sometimes, especially at the end of the round, when you're basically looking for one more hit, just slapping them with a YRC can be one of the easiest win conditions. I doesn't believe in the meaty setup of Jungie is here, dancing into, even if you get even if you get a PRC on that touch on the parry frames, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna get out of that. They say that you can try to backdash if you see the fish coming out. But, you know, make a mistake with your timing and you're still gonna eat it. And finally, Jungie has found enough success to put himself on board here. Now, it's gonna be a tough climb here against Spades. Spades is a very volatile kind of player, and when you're playing against volatile players, like players who you just can't predict very easily, yeah, not being like dropping games against players like that here and there is, you know, it goes without saying, it's gonna happen, right? Coming back from this 4-game deficit here, gonna be super hard, albeit not impossible for Jungie. And this is definitely a good start here. Big damage combo, go with the low. Aha, Nagihao is still going active. So Jungie didn't pick up the right tool for the occasion. I think even if you go for an SDP there, it might actually get low profiled. Is Nagiha able to low profile that much? Surely not, right? Missing the DP, however, YaBoiSpades also missing that, you know, that flip, or that, what should we call that? The flip forward? The movement, the command flip? The command hop? I'm not actually sure what that's actually called in the game. Big call counter hit. And Jungie knows that was gonna be the bane of him, so gotta burst out. However, back into the same kind of situation. Spades has burst to spend on Red Wild Assault and make it to the right corner. Now 6-1, the noose is slowly tightening around Jungie's neck. 6 games that we have to play in a row without making any sorts of big mistakes. Right, Fujin finds its mark, sends the opponent flying. Interesting. So chose to RC at the very end of the combo there. I guess it's that that awkward kind of situation where you're like, I can't really wall stick with this combo. So if I want to wall stick, I'm gonna RC, but if there's too much damage on the wall, then it wall sticks immediately and you feel like, damn, was the RC actually worth it in the end? Hard decisions for sure for Guilty Gear Strive players. Finds the Nagiha hit once again. SDP. You'll get back in there. Back and forth. Both players spending everything at the kitchen sink. A big RPS win there for Jungie for not having to spend the full burst. And saving it for this round. Able to get out of one mistake. However, the mistakes can pile up very fast. Meet the 5k, extremely safe jab here. Spades' turn. Should be the kill, yes indeed. So Spades is gonna secure another set point position for himself. Or is this the first one? I think this is actually the first one of the set. Triggering the spin, parry frames. But from that range, depending on what you're actually parrying here, it might be feasible that your opponent is just gets to recover fast enough to be able to save. Going into the RPS once again, but 5B calls out the command flip. That's a close slash counter hit. It's gonna be lots of damage unless YaBoiSpades misses it. Was trying to read that. Jungie wants to press a button afterwards. Going into that parry super, but now all of that meter is gonna be lost. Coming down with a jump slash, parrying the fireball. The stun dipper finds that frames that were vulnerable during that spin. I think catching the tail end of the recovery, right? And somehow Jungie is still alive by a small thread hanging, just trying to grasp onto that small little line that keeps Jungie afloat without sinking. Momentum burst. Spades trying to maintain the control of the corner. Yeah, it was destined to come out. Both players have been swinging like really wild. If they don't have like the full burst or the tension to spend for like DPRCs or YRCs. 5k is the round start option of choice here this time. We'll be able to DP through it. Unless Jungie goes for the like airtight. Oh, well, hold that thought for a moment. This could be what ends it. YaBoiSpades on a set point, and Jungie on their last pixels here. Very nice neutral jump shimmy. Calling out the throw from YaBoiSpades. However, 100 meter, Spades can do a lot of with this. RC? No RC, no option select. But that means, oh no, they tried to YRC from the fireball. That means there's nothing they can do there. Just locking themselves in the air as Jungie is, advancing forward. Start spin. Was able to gain a hit on that far slash. But it's risk versus reward. I think most of the time, if you trigger the parry frames, you should be able to go into the mid-array and slap them with the fish. But if you want bigger damage combos, you're gonna have to sort of gauge the frames. Oh, is that it? Misses the combo. That should be it. YaBoiSpades reaches the 7 points. It was a tough situation. 6-1, 6-2. And there's only so much you can do against a wild player like this. YaBoiSpades. In fact, I think this time around, Spades sort of turned down the crank on the absolutely crazy stuff, which is probably sort of a testament to how Jungie was controlling sort of the flow of the match. How patient Jungie was in a lot of those RPS situations. However, the fact of the matter is, against Jungie, I think it's more about just guessing right rather than being patient a lot of the times. Of course, you have to be super patient to not just blindly swing into all of those spins. But it's more about predicting when the spins are gonna come out, right? Now, I think I saw Blisske entering the lobby, which perhaps is signaling us that the last pair is in fact ready to play it out. Actually, I'm curious if Blisske actually was able to fix it. All right, so we got a yep. So looks like we are in fact gonna be heading into a interruption-free rematch of Blisske versus Decoy Snail. With the engineering skills rivaling that of the best of them, Blisske has been able to breathe life into the controller, and now, hopefully, fingers crossed. So, I guess, let's take a step back. A little bit of lore here. Blisske has been working with a faulty controller for a couple of Bounty Hunters events already. And one of the matches that could have ended differently was when 2 events ago these guys met on screen. Decoy and Blisske went down to 6-7 in the end, but Decoy was able to bring that home. Now, arguably, some of those situations that Blisske was having difficulties with and was having, controller disconnections could have been the little bit that he needed to turn it around. But this time, hopefully, there's not gonna be any sort of doubt at the end of this when one of these gamers is standing at the end. That will be the definitive answer to the question. Who's the better player, at least today? Now, what I know about Decoy and their experience in the matchup, they play versus Sin relatively decent amount. I think Marissa is one of their sparring partners, so they have a decent amount of experience in the matchup. We've sparred, me and Decoy here and there as well. From the other point of view, for Blisske, Jackos, especially strong Jackos, are a little bit of a rare commodity nowadays. So unless you're, ringing up somebody like, I don't know, Carrot or what have you, it's probably hard to find a Jacko players of Decoy's quality if you're specifically trying to practice to fight against Decoy Snail. And to top that off, the Jacko matchup is definitely a strange one. I think no matter what character you're playing in Guilty Gear Strive, you're gonna have to play the matchup a little different. Usually Jacko has a pretty strong neutral control. Once the minions are out, you're kind of have to adapt to her pace a little, as long as she has, minion attack commands available. Speaking of the minions, setting up the offensive perimeter, and there's one of the potential tools to RPS against Sin DP, especially from making Sin block 2D. Your two primary ways of surviving afterwards are go into the minion recovery command, which is the green whistle, or pick up a minion and run backwards, run away. Both of those options, however, have distinct counterplays. For example, against the recovery command, the opponent can just press a button and punish you, and against, picking a minion and running away, the opponent can chase you and RPS you afterwards. 2D counter hit, setting up a minion sandwich. It's looking a little dangerous for a moment, because Decoy Snail did sort of play themselves into the corner. Momentum burst, try to keep the hungry boy in there. Blisske is nearing that burst, and they'll probably have to think about it very soon. Decoy Snail, however, using a lot of those light pokes in hopes of perhaps being able to bait that burst out from Blisske. Air backdash, scoring an initial hit and the L2. However, the thing is, if you get an L2 counter hit without stamina to spend, it's not gonna amount to much, because big damage ain't coming as follow-up. Ooh, the trajectory, did you see that? Just completely avoiding the shit hitbox of Sin Jump Slash, actually working in favor of Blisske. The shit hitbox not reaching into the parry command, because it's so small, and it ended up not parrying Sin there. That's so funny. Right, sending the minions bouncing. Jump D as well. Here comes the, oh nice, the 6B into a straight immediate RC. Missing with the elk and coming out on the other side into a big B and big punish combo. It's basically max damage. Hard bait here, trying to go for the Goldbuster perhaps. It makes a lot of sense for Blisske to play the Goldbuster as well, because I think from my own experience, Decoy Snail loves the reversal Gold Burst quite a bit. And I think the input to Blisske was trying to go for there was the go close slash and then try to option select into a jump. Right, decent combo damage. Ooh, wasn't able to unleash a attack command there to keep the sandwich tight. Still getting the kill. Ooh, that's a big whip move. 5 heavy on whip should be, you know, very, very much like a whip punish. Using a lot of deflection or FD. Able to push Blisske far enough that there was, you know, not necessarily enough time to react to that elk, but you know, most of those elk cancels, especially when they're coming from weaker buttons, will be able to be mashed. Right, just 5k calls out that round start hoof stomp. Now hoof stomp, I think round start hoof stomp is one of the few options that can just stable challenge round start 2D from Jacko. I think you can also just trade 2k, or rather 2Ds, to go neutral. But other than that, it's a very reduced amount of sequences that you can use to beat it clean. Oh, misses this! Whatever the setup they were trying to go for. RC should be a kill, yes indeed. Both players opening up with 1 apiece. And that sets the mood for the rest of the set. The previous one 2 weeks ago, extremely tight, back to back. So I have no doubt that it's gonna go kinda the similar path this time around. And staying very patient against those attack commands. Whenever Jacko player still has that the extra gauge left, you can see above her tension gauge. When she has those bars to spend, she can basically extend most of her block strings for at least like three attack commands, creating very hard to mash pressure resets and or frame traps. Interesting option there. I think that was a complete whip on the supposed safe jump that Blisske wanted to go for. Dropping down a minion into a parry command. The parry command is quite a decent amount of trouble for Sin. Although Sin has the ace tool up in his sleeve as well, I think no minion or no parry command can ever touch the hitbox of Elk. So Elk's gonna be like your hard call-out option whenever you think that, you know, Jacko tries to activate the parry command at a neutral position. Here we go, 2D, let's hit rock. It's not too bad if you just let the 2D land on block as Sin, because, you know, the RPS is definitely not in Jacko's favor. Since DP is strong, oh, back and forth, maybe trying to bait Blisske into thinking that we're actually coming back from that minion pickup, but still had enough frames to run backwards, make it all whiff, and then finish Blisske off. That was really cool. For a moment, I thought that, you know, Nico was just going in there. Swinging a miss on the 6 heavy, sorry, the 6B, and then the heavy to follow up. There we go, the big punish. The holy grail of playing against Sin. Block the DP and close slash on the way down. Unless you punish between the hits, you're actually gonna be stuck in a really annoying RPS. Which is definitely not in your best interest. Looking into parry command again. This time, doesn't get a clean jump in. Although the situation is still heavily favoring Blisske. This should be enough, yes indeed. With that big Tyrant barrel damage being one of the hardest hitting supers in the game, minus of course Slayer supers. Ooh, finding the angle. That was a very peculiar angle for Blisske. Blisske is really one of the Sin players who tends to find like the the weirdest angles you could ever, you know, imagine, and manages to make those jump-ins work with a character who doesn't really have the best jumping buttons in the game. In fact, might have one of the worst ones. Right, activating the blue cheer, which is usually gonna be the cheer of choice. The install super of choice for Jacko players nowadays. I think in the meta, both the cheer supers will introduce whatchamacallit, the minimum amount of minion gates that's gonna be recovered over time, which is kind of like the primary feature that you want. Of course, the red one is gonna recover more, but the other utility that you get from the blue one just makes it all worth it instead of ever basically going for a red one. Last hit. Yeah. Yep. Working with a really safe block string here. Going for the minion command or the attack command. Checking what Blisske is doing. Rocking with those 2Ks. They're gonna usually be on block, YRC safe, as well as, you know, recover fast enough against the DP.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
And of course, if you're using attack commands from a safe distance away, Sin can't reach you with a DP, then, you know, just gonna have to hold it or try to jump out. Minions coming from left and right, comboing into... Ooh! That was kind of cool. That combo did require 100 of Decoy Snell's burst gauge, but I think a juggle that you don't see very often from Jacko players. Nice, the double jump comes down at a perfect angle, at a perfect timing to call out Bliske's elk hunt. I know Decoy Snell was having, you know, some difficulties finding the best active RPS options against elk hunt in some of the earlier sets. Good 6p, by the way. Ooh, it's so interesting how you can kind of like... There's a lot of different timing windows that you can cancel Sin's heavy buttons from. Both 2 heavy and 5 heavy. Oh, hold that thought. We got an overhead here. And Decoy Snell so close to that burst. But probably, even if they did get to it, wouldn't have unleashed it on that round. Would have been a little bit of a hero maneuver, as we call it in the industry. Was a lot of hits in a small amount of time, dropping the minion. I know Decoy Snell has a lot of really interesting, perhaps even difficult to execute safe sequences regarding like dropping minions next to Sin and then option selecting with parry command that takes care, takes advantage of hit stop, I believe.
Mankind knew that they cannot change.
But I think so far, we haven't seen a successful application of that yet. We go to the other side, Blisske smartly blocking the right way. It's especially these bouncing minion angles that tend to prove the most... Oh, what? From half screen away, 6k? Okay, Blisske, I see you. That's what they call footsiesmannen, like inte, in the Nordic countries. 5D. Won't have the juice to break the wall just yet. And the life advantage is slowly fading away as well. Nice reversal timing. Sinkiz has a lot of gaps in his block strings. And this was one of them. Goes into a reversal super. Can we parry here? Oh no! The knowledge check! I wonder if Decoy knows. Every single one of those RTL hits on block will be a close slash opportunity. But I think either a gap in knowledge or Decoy Snell just missed their timing there and got frame trapped by the ender. But no time to dwell on that. We have some games to play here once again from that such an unassuming angle. Finds the big counter hit, air to air. Blisske converts into a hard knockdown as well. Keep the pressure going, crank that risk. Where's your option gonna come from? The pressure finally ends as Blisske runs out of stamina there. YRC baits it, and could that perhaps be enough damage? 5D, charge it for the maximum amount of damage that Decoy Snell could have done in that situation because they didn't have the 50 meter ready to go. Jump heavy, bleeding from both sides. scoring decent 1/5 of Blisk's health gauge. Trying to tap a minion here. The reason why you would play Big Driver in this matchup usually, not to reach the main body herself, but to tap a minion and then try to cancel into one of your follow-ups in order to, you know, jump scare her. Go into the verified Blisk sequence, close slash 2S into Hoof Stomp. Loves that so much. And it ends up working out. Why shouldn't you do it? Why shouldn't you do it when it keeps working out? I think there's like a sort of an like pseudo RPS option there between close slash 2S too heavy of course being first hit being a low, and then close slash 2S Hoof Stomp, which will go into an overhead option. Alright, falls into the minion attack command, tries to backdash as well. Ooh, that was a really nice backdash rate, and the 2P comes out fast enough to call out the elk. However, that was probably worth a burst there. Not only was Decoy able to put Blisske back into the corner, but also survive the close slash starter. However, yeah, that 2S meat is gonna be called out by this reversal super. Spin it! And now, assuming a more defensive perimeter here, as you probably should most of the time, when you can take your opponent into very low health, when you need that one more touch, probably moving backwards and planting those mines, aka minions, on their path. Pro option works out into the 2K, which is an empty, perfect meaty option. Oh, and again, RC, yep. Blisske paying the usual standard throw corner game. Sin has a, like, especially against non-DP characters, Sin has a surprisingly effective, you know, high-low mix-up. Counter hit into, was waiting for something here. Decoy, however, didn't have any of the resources. Uses FD, pushes all these big buttons away. So here's the catcher. Decoy is scoring a lot of opportunities to whip punish Blisske here when they're, you know, FDing those long button strings out. However, you have to have the courage to press into that heavy cancel. So if you FD like close slash 2S and then they go into the 5 heavy still, you have to kind of know that the first hit of the heavy button is gonna whiff. You can't react to it, you just have to know. You have to trust your gut instinct to get the whiff punish. But Decoy here, moving on to a very, like, rather holding on to a very decent lead here. 5-2. So far, based on the performance of, nice call out there, 2K against the elk. I want to say, Decoy looking really crisp on the elk callouts this set. Oh, here's a call out on the throw though. Counter hit elk. Not a clean conversion though. And the FD is pushing Blisske far away. Eventually, the resources should run out, but is Decoy gonna be dead when that happens? Not quite. Ooh, that was an anime dash. That was a anime 2D air dasher dash into a throw attempt. Not paying off this time. Very nice angle there for the 6B. The call out Decoy from that air sequence. Catch on the backdash once again. Very delayed backdash. That kind of looked like a fuzzy backdash of sorts. Are they not gonna be able to mount an anti-air in time to the other side? Is that gonna be a kill? Gets a wall stick? Yeah, and just throw a body at them. Now this round here is gonna be super important for Blisske. If he goes down one more game, I would say his chances of coming out of this set victorious are gonna go down so much. The stonks are gonna decrease. The stonks are gonna go down so hard. Decoy Snail planting all of the most annoying pressure that you could ever imagine. And through the ball. Is it enough? Yes, it is. And they move. onto the 6-2 position. Yeah, it's looking like the training, the grinding has definitely paid off for Decoy.
Man,
They've been working on this matchup quite a bit, as far as I know, for the past week at least. And now the ball is in Blisk's court to make something happen. Counter hit into. Ooh, okay, that's gonna be damage. Of the stamina-free variant as well. As we're heading on to this mix-up position. Strike throw is the name of the game, with a little hint of high-low as well from the hoops. Could potentially be a comeback still. Character, ooh, tried to lock down Blisk from the aerial position with that minion command. Small punish. Yeah, I think that's is one of the, especially like, if you as Jack-O sort of position yourself in a quotation safe distance from Sin DP, a lot of the times, if it whiffs, it actually gets relatively difficult to punish. Because you have to have the timing there on when Sin comes down out of it. Good block here, and a good challenge as well. Blisk still fighting with an empty stamina bar. Is that gonna stick? Yes, indeed. A saving grace. And now during that period, able to recover a lot of stamina and having that almost 100 tension ready to go would mean that if Blisk lands anything, it's combo video time. Ooh, tried on the close slash. Deflect shield is pushing. Oh, but the forward the forward drift RC completely negating the pushback potential of the deflect shield. That is one of the natural predators of deflect shield. When the sequence that is parried is cancelled into an RC, that completely negates the pushback. And Blisk, living to fight another day, looking to potentially make a reverse sweep here. Activate the blue. It's gonna be tough. The minions cannot be poked. Having the blue minion install active as well, I think sometimes enables sequences where your minions are actually poking at the opponent even after they can score a hit. Such as, you know, sometimes the Sin DP goes through and Sin just gets poked out of it with a previous minion command. There we go, being close and personal, close slash punish, delivering a lot of damage. That could almost be a kill, in fact. I think that's actually gonna be a kill. Yeah? Yes, indeed. Yes, sir. And that's gonna be the set. Cut short. Blisk sort of displayed a short burst of potential comeback.
wins.
But Decoy Snail, with the control, with all that work put into the matchup, is able to come out of it victorious with decently flat, what do they call it? Flying colors? Decent numbers? I mean, it's that like 1-7, 2-7, 3-7 territory where you're kind of like, I wasn't sweating too much. Usually what they say. After like 7-4, 7-5, it starts being like, gonna have to put on my game fake there. Okay, but that is the controller saga done and over with. Decoy Snail has in fact proven that they are able to take out Blisk Sin on an even ground. And that would actually be, I believe, the curtain call of tonight. Went through all the 6 matchups that we had in store. Some of them extremely fast, because we had a lot of explosive characters on tonight. Some Nagos, Slayers, Sins, Anjis. They do baking some nice damage cakes. And that said, if you would like to participate in this weekly FT7 show match event, you probably already know the deal, but join my Discord. The sign-up forms are going to be posted over there in just a couple of minutes when the event goes offline. And 5 p.m. CEST every week, every Sunday, unless otherwise specified. I think the only exception of the year usually is gonna be install. But since we have install behind, for the rest of the year, we should be seeing events every Sunday without further notice. Let's see if there are any cool targets to send players to. I think gender neutral isn't online yet, because they usually go live around 9 p.m. finish time. And we're finishing a little earlier today. But that means that I think the Duck German FT7 should be on for a little while longer, so we'll go for a raid on that. Yeah, other than that, yeah, was another great week of sets. See you next Sunday. Till then, stay safe and bye-bye.